Hi viewers, my name is Ruth Kerubo, and today I'm so happy to host one Joshua Makori Nyereshi. This is a wonderful person in our society because he has done a lot, and you will know that as we keep on the conversation going. Is one of the people that have really changed our society, especially to the Kenyan immigrants to this country. He has really helped many people, and today we are hosting him to know him more because as I said earlier, in this channel we will be hosting people who have been in Canada for years. Now they want to go back home and maybe give back to the community and do help those who are in need. And as per now, Joshua started his journey to go back and give to the community, to the people of Kenya. So please be with us till the end as we know Joshua better and as we know what plans he has for his community and which part of Kenya he will be serving as he feels like he should be giving back to the community. So please, let's enjoy this view. Once again, you are so welcome. So Mr. Joshua, I'm so happy to be in your office. I'm really happy because this office has been our home since we came.
That's correct.
And I thank God because you have been so welcoming, you have been so helpful, because the reality is once you are new in a foreign land, you get so confused. You get like you don't know where you're going.
Where to start from as well.
To start from.
Yes.
But I thank God you have been here not only as a lawyer, but only as a father to some of ours and as a bigger brother to some of the community people. So please, can you tell my viewers who you are?
Thank you. I know here is morning. I know maybe other places it will be in the evening because of the different time zone. Thank you also for the opportunity to host me in your program. For those who do not know me, my name is Joshua Makori Nyereshi. I am a lawyer here in Canada, particularly practicing in Ontario. I am also licensed to practice in the province of Nova Scotia. But more importantly, I originally come from Kenya. I have been here for quite some time. I want to admit that, I have met different kinds of people from different backgrounds, particularly in the legal profession because I'm a lawyer and I practice immigration law. I practice real estate. Yeah, real estate is those ones who buy houses, sell houses, and sometimes look for mortgages to be able to, do or support them in the real estate transactions. I'm also, to some extent, I'm also a criminal lawyer, so I do some criminal matters, but I mostly practice immigration law. That's the bigger chunk of what I do as a lawyer. Yeah, and I come from Kenya, and more specifically, I come from Kisii, Kitutu, Chache North, which is one of the constituencies within the Kisii County. Yes, and I hope I have as much as possible tried to cover and let the viewers know who I am and where I come from, and particularly what I do here in Canada.
Oh, thank you so much, Joshua. Will you mind us to tell us when did you come here and how was your journey to settle? Like, did you start practicing law back from Kenya or did you start it here?
Yes, thank you. That's a good question. Normally, when we finish law, which is a law degree, within any jurisdiction, you have to do what you have to go to a law school. In Kenya, I went to Kenya School of Law. At that time, it was at a place called Valley Road before they moved to now Karen. Yes, I worked as a lawyer in Kenya. I was a legal officer for a number of companies, including one called Ibatura Brothers. It's actually next to City Cabanas. I was a company legal secretary, worked, helped to deal with a lot of legal issues. And then after that, I had previously worked in other places. And then after I felt that, you know, it's always good to explore other jurisdictions. It's when as I already indicated that I came to Canada. I've been here for almost 18 years now. Yeah, it's quite some time. I see like it was just the other day. I've been here for that period of time. I went to University of Toronto because essentially I was not a lawyer. I did not study law in Canada, so there were certain competencies that I was supposed to complete for me to qualify to write my bar exam. So I went to the University of Toronto under a program called Internationally Trained Lawyers Program, which basically helped me to navigate through certain legal processes that were relevant to my practice. I finished, I wrote my bar exam, I wrote my barrister exam and solicitor exam, which I completed, and then I was licensed to practice law in this country.
Oh, wow, that's so wonderful.
Yes.
And Joshua, please can you tell us how has living in Canada shaped your worldview and leadership perspective?
Thank you. I have, I must admit that, when you move to any place, you don't know what is awaiting you. And I know you did mention in the introduction that sometimes you move to this country not knowing anybody, trying to, basically, find a better place for you, sometimes because of different reasons. Now, I must admit that when I came to this country, what I found is it's not what I expected.
Yeah.
So there's something that I tell a lot of my people. I was lucky that when I came here, my family was here. My sister, I have my elder sister who's a lecturer. She teaches in one of the universities in Labrador, and she had previously come here earlier than me. So she was one of the reasons, including my family, that encouraged me to come. But I must admit, when I came here, things were not easy. As a new immigrant, I had to get a work permit, and I was informed that my work permit would not be issued until after 12 months.
Oh, wow.
And I was wondering, because I was strong enough to work, I did not need, to stay at home. And I wondered, how would I be paying my bills if I have to wait for 12 months? I had to seek the help of a member of parliament. And then I was able to get my work permit, and I thought to myself, but you see, sometimes we don't have people fight for us. I thought to myself that when my people come, or anybody who needs my services, I'll be there, because I knew what it meant to be able to, not have somebody to help you when you're going through an immigration process. So those are some of the factors that I've considered, and has been one of the, the backbone of my legal process, or my legal practice. And yes, and some of the challenges, of course, also to be able to go to school again. I thought I'd finished studying. I had to go back to school at the University of Toronto to do courses like the Canadian Constitutional Law, the Canadian Criminal Law. Those are some of the subjects that I did not study because I didn't study in Canada. And then I have to also try the bar exam, the barristers and the solicitor exam. It was actually very draining and very challenging, particularly now that you have to balance between paying your bills and going back to school. Yeah, and having a family, also being able to support the family. So it was a bit challenging, particularly when we study, and then we have families and we have responsibilities. But I was focused. I know a lot of people discouraged me that I will never be a lawyer in this country. And I want to encourage everybody that to not be discouraged. There are a lot of people who will tell you that you will not succeed. In fact, some of even others abandoning their professions. I want to encourage that just go for it. Canada is a very good country. It's a country of immigrants. Its diversity is actually very good, because unlike Canada, and I tell a lot of people, unlike Canada, where you can still be who you are. Some other jurisdictions or other countries, I know a lot of people, even in the US, they have abandoned their careers because they can no longer practice with those areas. And then they have to spend a lot of money to be able to go back to school and be able to do different courses. And then totally the money and the resources invested in their previous careers goes to waste. So I am so grateful that I focused. I say that this is what I wanted, and now the rest is history. But I must admit that it's not easy, but to not give up.
Yeah, so Mr. Joshua, I understand so far you've said you've been here for 18 years, and I know it was not easy to build your career since for now I can say when you come over, the country does not consider your papers back at home. So it's like you come and start all over again. So you have now built that career, you have been helping people, and let's say money-wise, you are getting good money. So far, what really motivates you to decide now I have to go back and vie for the Member of Parliament seat?
That's why, Ruth, there is always time and season for everything.
I know.
I have been in this country. I have supported my people particularly from Kenya, from all over the world, because I've represented clients from all over, even those who are Canadians, those from African countries, from everywhere. And I feel that there is a saying that a good dancer must know when to exit the stage. So I feel that I've been able to offer a lot of support here. Though one thing I want to let you know that even despite the fact that I've been able to support people here, I've also been able to support people back home.
Sure.
Because still, I remember when I became a citizen of this country, the immigration judge said something that has always stuck with me. He said that when you get married, you do not forget your mother. And literally what he meant is that if I become a Canadian citizen, I don't forget Kenya because that's my mother. And I think that stuck with me from that time up to now. I have always been, I travel back home quite often because I still have family back home. And whenever I go home, for the many years that I've traveled, I've always seen how people are struggling. I've seen challenges that affect people. Life has never changed. And that's why I started a foundation called Joshua Makori Nyereshi Foundation. This foundation basically is intended to support my people. I started from supporting people within the Kitutu Chache North constituency where I come from. This foundation has focused on a number of areas, and particularly I'm the only guy in this foundation.
Wow.
I did not get any support from anybody financially, so and that's why I've not been able to do much. But I think based on the capacity that I have, I've been able to support people building houses for those who do not have houses, because I realize a lot of people struggle, and some of them don't even have decent houses where they live in. I also have been able to support school-going children. I realized that most of the girls have challenges staying in school because of the suntan towels. So I started, supplying suntan towels to schools, particularly for grade 6, 7, and 8 girls, to be able to keep them in school and to build their confidence, particularly during that time when they are going through this process. I also started now providing uniforms, because you see, I found it very challenging, because I will see some of the students or the pupils going to school, and they are wearing even uniform of a different school. Some of them are wearing actually home clothes. And I felt, what can I do to support them, so that I built that confidence for them to remain in school. So I started giving them uniforms, shoes, socks, books, and even a feeding program. Because some of them, because you see, they come from poor backgrounds. Their families or their parents cannot afford to put a meal on the table. So I felt, how do we keep these children in school? I felt that it was important for me to start a feeding program, support already the one that was existing for the schools that had one but they were struggling, or be able to start totally a new program for the feeding program for the children. And actually that has improved the enrollment, that has kept the same children in school. Because sometimes when they go home, they find their parents are not even at home because they have gone to look for work, and they cannot find food, and sometimes they may not come back to school. So and that has really been very helpful. Apart from that, I know the border sector is also one of the areas that are needed my boost. I found that they do not have shades where they can take shelter either when it's raining or when it's sunny. So I built border shades within the whole constituency for the border riders. Apart from building the border shades, I've also given the border riders reflectors. The reflectors basically is to help them. They are visible so that they cannot be, injured or maybe, to avoid accidents.
Yeah.
So that at least they're able to go back to their families when they finish work. I also gave them money for their circles. I felt that they needed to be boosted because even as much as they're doing this small business, the money they're getting is not enough. So I felt that I gave them money for their circles, and I gave them some chairs. These chairs normally these days now, a lot of groups have come together. They're both chairs, they're both tents, and they rent them out to functions, even funerals or during weddings. So for a way of also making money. So I have boosted them, the border sector. Even women groups, I've been able to give them chicken, give them money for table banking, support them so that at least I build their capacities to support themselves and support their families. I have also not forgotten about the talents for this soccer. I have had a tournament for the soccer players. The tournament is basically to, you can also succeed in every sector. Even in soccer, we have seen people earning a lot of money. So just to build this and also, make these young people busy. Yeah, and conclusively, I have also been able to support school-going students. I'm paying a lot of school fees for university students and high school students, just to keep them in school, particularly those who are intelligent. I have been able to be who I am because people supported me, and I feel that if I have to support them, will be also an opportunity for them to grow.
Oh, that's so wonderful.
Yes.
And Mr. Joshua, let's say you get that chance to be elected as a member of Parliament of Kitutu Chache North. What would be your top 3 priorities for the first year?
Yes, and I think I was hosted and interviewed at the Getembe TV before I came back, and that similar question was put to me. You see, one, employment, and I must admit that the other day there was this conversation that was going on the social media about Mheshimiwa Osoro being able to have almost quite a number of young people from his constituency who graduated. I don't know whether it was prisons, but or whether it was Kenya police, but at least there were young people who graduated. I think most of them were from them, who were recruited as prison warders. I was excited because, see, this is something that I don't see from my constituency, from Kitutu Chache North. These opportunities, I've always questioned myself that where did Osoro get these slots to be able to have almost 27 young people who were recruited and they successfully completed their training. I did not see that similar exercise on people in my constituency where I come from, Kitutu Chache North. And I questioned, because you see, if these young people who finish school cannot get employment, then what society are we building? So mine will be to be able to build that capacity to, one, employment. Another thing, number 2, is actually having a project within the constituency. You see, I have always wondered, because there are still other constituencies like where Ndindi Nyoro comes from, Bobo Wino, that have always succeeded. So I've always wondered, how do they make their constituencies achieve this much when they get the CDF and all the funding from the government, which is a similar amount of money to other constituencies. So another thing is basically to be able to create a project. Like, I see in the village where I come from, people have these animals that somebody's keeping like 5 animals, which are not productive. So why can't you keep 1 or 2? Why can't we have agricultural extension officers to come and train our people on how even to be able to raise these animals so that the animals can be able to produce even milk? Even have a creamery where we can process milk, employ people, and then we sell our milk within the constituency so that we raise money. Because there's never been any, I saw Governor Simbarati was brought a factory for avocados. I don't know where it went. So sometimes it's good to be able to have something, even when you are thinking about employing people, build the private sector. If there are people can be able to bring employment, how do we support them so that they can employ our people? Another thing that I've always thought, but again, this is what I'm thinking, but it's my desire that when I will want to go back, I want to sit down with the people so that we agree what are some of the issues that we need to be able to address. Because sometimes I may think on behalf of the people and that's not what they want. So the stakeholders must be involved so that at least we come with a joint program that is able to address the concerns that affect our people. But another thing that I wanted to be able to do is to improve schools, to improve education. Because you see, a lot of teachers are not motivated. they work under very poor conditions. And I would love to be able to see that how do we motivate them? How do we have this conversation between the teachers, the students, and the stakeholders who are the parents and the people within the community? So we see how can we, because education is a game changer. So those are some of the factors that I would want to focus in my first year. But again, I would want to engage the constituents to be able to ask them if this is what is more relevant or more, more urgent that need to be addressed.
Okay, that's so wonderful. And just a week ago, is it a week or a few days ago, you were back home?
Yes.
And we saw you with other leaders like Kibagendi, Omanga, Kalonzo, and many more. You are going around the county, Kisii County, that is. And please, will you mind telling us, because we saw you are now decided to go with Jubilee, which is also with the party that Matiang'i wants to use to run for presidency. So will you mind tell us, why didn't you go with the UDA? And again, what was your main agenda for the rally? Because we really saw you mobilizing a lot of people.
Thank you. So that's a very good question. Of course, UDA under Kenya Kwanza came into government promising our people, because you see, every government, when they come into power, they have an agenda. They have what they want to do for our people. And I know the Kenya Kwanza came with, a program of Mama Mboga, Boda, you see, and the people were excited. People were excited that, this government that is coming to power really thinks about the common man. But I think, unfortunately, that was not the case. People are suffering. The Mama Mboga remains, in fact, even Mama Mboga has gone down, even lower than where the Mama Mboga was. The Boda, they were promised a lot of things, but you see the people now who are in government, there's no Mama Mboga, there's nothing. And people are very frustrated. The economy, the life, even the employees, their base slips, actually, they get their base slips, which is nothing, because with this tax, housing levy, where they are taxed money, which they have tried to struggle to refuse, but the government still is very adamant. Generally, how people are suffering. Things have not changed. Life is hard. And then now the question we ask ourselves, just like anybody, what then has this government have to offer if they cannot even offer what they promised? Because then when you go against what you promised, people don't trust you anymore. So, and one of the biggest challenges is that they had this financial bill. The financial bill that was actually not the best. And I can tell you, most of our members of parliament voted for this bill, including my own member of parliament, Honorable Chache. And so the biggest challenge is that now this bill, when the Gen Zs decided to protest because they said that this is not the best bill for our country, the same government that is supposed to protect them killed them. And we lost a lot of people. So if these members of parliament never voted for this bill, our young people who are not alive now could still be here. And conclusively, I want to say that even the only government that was fighting for this, they also later say that the bill was not good. So anyway, to cut the story short, is that we do not see any hope. This government has not done nothing. They are promising us that they want to take us to Singapore. In fact, they have never been taken us to Afghanistan, because even Afghanistan is worse. So I don't know where this Singapore is coming from. I don't know whether Singapore is where our people are struggling. I've never been to Singapore myself, but I would not want to be there if this is exactly what they are telling us. So now why Matiang'i and the United Opposition? They are bringing hope. Dr. Fred Okengo Matiang'i, who is now the Gen Zs and the Kenyan population wants him to be the leader. They're the ones actually who demanded. Dr. Matiang'i was working in the US. He was working for World Bank. But they demanded that he comes back. So he came back because you see of his record. He worked in different sectors, education, he was able to streamline it. He worked in the ICT, he was able to streamline internal security. He was, whatever he has been placed, he has performed extremely well. So now the people are saying, come, you want to associate yourself with somebody who does a good job. Even you don't want to sit with a tag You know, because people will wonder, show me your friends and I'll tell you your character. So I have believed in him, I have believed in what he stands for, he has his record, and of course, I feel that Kenya needs change. And since I believe in Fred, I said I need to support him, because you see, even when you're a good leader, you need good soldiers to help you perform, because you can't be everywhere. So I believe that I have what it takes to be able to support him, and even if there's any task that I'll be given, I trust that I'll be able to do it. Because even me, I've also been able to be tested here and help my people, and essentially I have been able to support, and I will not mistake to do the same.
Oh, thank you so much. And how do you think we will address the issue of corruption? Because now it's the main disease that we have back home.
That's correct. You know, the issue of corruption is not a one-man agenda or issue. Corruption must be fought with all the agencies and the goodwill. You know, corruption has been fought by leaders who are progressive, leaders who believe that this thing can be changed, because we have lost a lot of money through corruption, and a lot of programs and developments have been stalled because people have just stolen the money. So I think with the help of Freddie and his team, I know there's going to be a goodwill. We will have to say no, because the issue of corruption has to be addressed on both sides, the one who's giving and the one who's receiving. So we need people to know that. And I can tell you, there's a country that I traveled to, and I tried to give somebody just an appreciation, a thank you, because he provided me some certain services, and I said no, that's okay, that's my responsibility, I don't need to get anything from you. And I was shocked. So we need to change the attitude, we need to change our people, and we need to let them know that corruption is not the answer to all our problems. We can always succeed, or we can always get money from other sources, or we don't necessarily get into it.
Yeah, thank you so much, Joshua. And so far, how do you plan to engage the Kenyan diaspora in national development?
You know, Ruth, one of the challenges, and one of, the diaspora community has always been ignored. And this is a very important segment of the Kenyan economy. Our people have sent a lot of money back home. In fact, a lot of revenue that is generated in Kenya, most of them come from the diaspora. Our people are very, very committed to support their own people, invest in Kenya. I think we need to be able to address this. And I remember Dr. Fred has addressed this. I know the current government has tried to have somebody from the diaspora, but that's not much, it's not enough. I think we need to engage them. We need to encourage them that they can still invest in Kenya, and their investments can be protected, that they can still come back home. Some of the limitations that you need a visa when you're a Kenyan, that you need a visa, despite the fact whether you're a Canadian or you're a citizen of another country. Kenya recognizes dual citizenship. Kenyans must not be subjected to visas and other restrictions, including their children. Their children who are born outside Kenya, those children should automatically get Kenyan citizenship or a Kenyan travel document. They should not be. It's my desire to have these offices in every country, particularly where there are many Kenyans, so that to address the issues of those, to allow them to just listen to them, so that we have forums to hear what they want and how we must be able to support them, including even when they import cars, that they should be duty-free. Because it's like these are people who have traveled and lived out, that they want to bring some of their property or stuff back home. We must be able to find a department that generally will be able to deal with those issues.
Wow, that's so good. And so far, I know there's someone, because one thing I know, your office is an office that helps immigrants or new people in Canada to settle, to go through the process, get the work permit, and that is not easy. And I know as per now, there's that person who will be watching this and know that Joshua now wants to run for the office back home, but still they know like there's a process that they depend you to take care of. So what will you tell such a person?
Yes, well, I know, thank you, Ruth. We have not properly addressed the issue of people having a desire to come to Canada. Canada is one of the best countries, I must admit. It has different programs that people can come to Canada. People can come as students. People can come on a visitor's visa. People can come under what we call we have federal skilled workers program. People can come on work permits. People can come under the caregiver program. We have what we call, particularly for those who have children here, under what you call the supervisors, where parents and grandparents can come under the supervisors program. So they are quite a different program. So it depends on what can fit your circumstances. Now, when people come here, of course, they will need immigration lawyers to help them to navigate through their immigration process. I must say that still my office would still be open. I have a lawyer now who is licensed. The lawyer is from Kenya. She's licensed. She's most of the time when I travel, she's the one who takes over the affairs of this office. We are still trying to have most of our young people who are still in school. They are completing their law process. We want to have them come. We have built a name now. JM Law Professional Corporation has built a name. We do not want to lose that goodwill. We will still be able to have. And now, I do a lot of virtual hearings. I don't have to be physically in the office. I can still do hearings even from Kenya. We can still work together with some of the other lawyers who have trained and completed their licensing process, who are now working with me here. So they will still be able to help. But whenever there will be a requirement where I need to come in, I will always come in. But I've trained them enough to be able to deal with all the issues that affect our people. But should there be a need, I will always be available.
Okay, thank you so much, because I know someone will be asking like, oh, my process is with with Joshua's office. What will happen now since it's going
and
because
yes,
the process is so intense.
That's correct.
And you don't want to miss that one step, and maybe you start all over.
No, my colleague is called Janet. Janet is she's a very trained, a very well experienced lawyer. She used to work at the Supreme Court in Kenya. They are the ones who are writing the decisions of the petitions of the Supreme Court. Very experienced, very well knowledgeable, and very well trained, including in areas of research and areas of drafting. So she's extremely very knowledgeable and well informed. I have every confidence that she's the one who was doing the hearings, and not all the hearings were successful in my absence. And I must admit that she's now well trained in all areas of law, particularly in Canada, the fact other than being trained in Kenya. So I must admit that we are well prepared for landing. There is no problem. People should not be scared, and of course we are here all the way until 2027 for all the immigration process that we will still continue with them.
Thank you so much. And so far, how do you plan to use the social media and the digital platform to mobilize or to reach your voters? Because we know, going out now to sell your manifesto, like now we are in the era of the social media and all that.
Yeah, actually, social media is something that has made me known. Nobody could have known who Nyereshi is other than if it were not for the social media. I have a TikTok account, and that has been very active. I have the Facebook accounts, of course, that have been very active. I'm putting my information and my work out there. I have also, been interviewed, like now the one that we are doing now. I've done a few interviews even here in my office. I did Daring Abroad by Mr. Jamwada. I've done quite a lot, including the vernacular TV stations in Kenya. I've done Getembe, and I know going forward I will still be able to, get an opportunity to speak in other both national and international stations. Here in Canada, I've been interviewed by CP24. I've been interviewed with other media houses, particularly when I'm trying to help our people through the immigration process. So I must admit that it's important now with this generation. Social media is going to play a very critical role in every aspect that relates even to elections or anything. So I'm very grateful that this has also played a key role to put my name there and put my work out there and tell people who I am and what I've done for them.
Wow, that is so good. And one thing I can ask you, because I know the other day I even called you asking you about I can't remember the name of the leader who was talking in vernacular, saying that you are washing you are washing women in Canada,
yes.
They don't understand the aspect of healthcare giving.
That's correct.
Whatever they translate it, they translate in a funny way back home.
That's correct.
So how prepared are you to go go inside there into politics. Like, politics sometimes can get dirty.
That's correct.
People will be talking harsh things, and even there's a day we were talking with a friend, and she was telling us how her brother got into politics, and at a certain time people were talking so bad things till the brother was like, is me that people are talking about or someone else? So how prepared are you to go? Do you have that hard skin? Because I know, like maybe in a few days when it really starts, some things will popping up, like funny, crazy, and
that's correct. That's correct. So that's a good question. I must admit that when I started this process, and gradually, when I started the foundation, the idea of running for any political office was not in my mind. It's something that has come over time, and I've been doing this work for some time now. When I started and people were making negative comments about me, I would feel very disturbed. Including, by the way, now, there's a time they say that I've even died. They even put it out there that I may not necessarily lead other people. That's when people go too low, even to wish somebody to die. I mean, and I remember I put out a statement that I've lost a lot of my family members, and why would even someone? I would not even wish my worst enemy that kind of situation or scenario. So yes, when I started, I was a bit scared. I would still be able to hear this, and I get to I feel like, should I even stop what I'm doing? But over time, I actually did. It doesn't bother me at all. I know it's true. My current member of parliament brought a team to the judge, and particularly to my village. There's a primary school called Nyaborova Primary School. Part of the land that the school is built on is my father who donated the land. So actually, if you look at my house literally is just basically the fence between the school and my house. And you can see when you're upstairs, you see, even when you're in my compound, you see everything in the school. So that's why they put a tent very close to my house. And for many reasons, I realized that this gentleman, who is a former MCA from Kilgore, called Apok.
Apok was me.
Yeah, so I think his name is Apok or something. Apok, if I'm not wrong. He's an MCA. So he comes, and I think he doesn't know me. He doesn't come from Kitutu, so which means he must have been informed that come and speak up something about this. So he says that he just behaves as if that he does not even know my name. He says, Arechi, there's somebody from here called Arechi that I hear he's outside there. He's the one that is doing this healthcare service of cleaning women, and so when are you expecting to come? You see, one thing I want to tell you, Ruth. Sometimes people think that they are trying to downgrade me, or maybe to show me look like I'm bad, but they do not know that they're actually giving me a mileage. And I think one thing in politics, whether it's a positive comment or a negative comment, it either builds you or either way it will build you. So people felt very bad that even as much as I'm the one who's doing this service of for lack of a better word, cleaning and women, or what is wrong with that? This gentleman has a mother, and he says that I'm cleaning women, so he doesn't have respect for his own mom. But what is wrong by me doing that? If ever that's the job that I'm doing, what's wrong with that? So are you trying to tell me that you don't respect women? Or do you want to tell me that women are just people who must also be ignored? Because if that's the service that I'm providing to them, and he specifically talks about women. And these women are the ones who voted for him, they're the ones who vote for Java, they're the ones who why do you want to make them look like they don't deserve to be this service to be provided to them? So and that is degrading them. It's not degrading, but degrading them. So I felt bad when I went back home recently, and I spoke about that in my village when there was a funeral that I attended, and the women were very agitated. They felt bad that was a wrong message and at the wrong time. So yes, just as you rightly said, these things happen, but they make us stronger. Because you see, there's a saying, I don't know how to say it in English, that a tree that has fruits is the one that people throw stones. So maybe they know my influence, they know that I'm a threat, and that's why they're targeting me, because they think that that's the way to bring me down, but they do not know that that's a way to build me up.
that's so good. And please, can you tell the people of Chache what you are bringing to them, and just talk
Yes.
to people.
Again, my people of Kitutu Chache North constituency, where I come from. I specifically come from the Sensi ward, which is part of the 4 wards of the Kitutu Chache North constituency. Again, I have spoken to you severally on different platforms, lakini kwa siku ya leo, wacha niongee kwa Kiswahili. Nataka kuambia kwamba nawapenda sana, na vile mnaona mimi ni mtoto wenu, na yale yote nimefanya kwa foundation, kujengea watu manyumba, kununulia watoto wa shule sare za shule, na kulipia karo kwa watoto wale wengine ambao wanasoma, na kuwasaidia kwa jumla, na kuwatengenezea vipanda kwa watoto wetu wa bodaboda. Nataka kuambia kwamba hiyo ni kazi nafanya kwa sababu mimi nawapenda na nataka kuwasaidia kwa wale ambao hawajiwezi ama wale mapato yao ni chini. Nina nia ya kwamba nikipata nafasi wakati narudi nyumbani, tutaweza kushirikiana, tuweze kuongea na kuona kwamba ni mambo gani ambayo tutaweza kuyafanya tukiwa pamoja. Kwa hivyo mimi nawaambia kila laheri, na nawashukuru sana kwa wale wakati ambao Mheshimiwa Materi alikuja na wageni wake Kitutu Chache North. Mlitokea kwa wengi, mkamkaribisha na mkamwonyesha upendo. Huo upendo unaonyesha wazi kwamba sisi kama watu wa Kitutu Chache North na Kisii na Kenya mzima tunataka uongozi ubadilike, ili tupate viongozi ambao watatufanyia kazi na sisi maisha yetu yaweze kubadilika. Kwa hivyo nawashukuru sana. Wakati mwingine nilikuwa nyumbani juzi, nitarudi, lakini hata nikiwa hapa huwa masikio yangu iko nyumbani, kwa sababu I always love you guys and I will always support you kwa ile nguvu yangu ambayo nitakuwa na uwezo ambao nitakuwa na. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Joshua. Thank you, and we hope this office will always continue serving the purpose, being a place that people will be running to.
Yes.
And yes, we hope like it will also still be open for
Of course, this always will be our refuge. This office has always been there for our people, na itaendelea kukua huko, na watu wetu wajue kwamba we would have, na singetaka watu wetu wafikirie kwamba ikiwa kama nitatoka kwamba kazi itasimama. Kazi itaendelea kwa sababu we still want to serve our people. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Joshua, for having us in the
Thank you.
office.
Yes.
We hope we'll keep in touch.
Thank you so much, and I wish you well. Thank you for the good work that you're doing.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, viewers, and please, if you are within Canada and you feel like you have a story that we have to capture, and maybe you have something that you need to talk about, please reach us in the number below, so that just WhatsApp us with a short message, then someone will get back to you. Thank you so much. Please subscribe and share to other people. Thank you.